So status, Orchard, lots of things. There is a competition between Sipke and Matthew, but Matthew is winning so far. So since last week, I did CodeRush for Roslyn settings folder to gitignore. Okay. Owin work context scope, fixing a bug that the owin middlewares don't have a work context. Sipke made it, and I thought it was already pulled, well merged, but I'm not sure it's done. We'll see. Orchard.Core UCDN settings UI not correct, and then Matthew started to fix many things, oddities in the UI and little bugs or big bugs. So this one was the UI was incorrect with UCDN label, not aligned. This is on the dev branch. I see a merge here. There's a merge. What is this merge? Oh, merging 110x into dev. So no, this is on 110x then. Let me check. Doesn't show up here. But I assume it's, yeah, it's in 110x, fixing some localization. Double encoding, at least. Double encoding, wrapping, yes, this is what Sipke had done, so this is merged. This is deprecated branch now. Hidden field in dynamic form cause crash, a fix from Matthew that there could be a null exception in some cases, so he fixed it. 110x. Customize blog recipe to make it better because it was missing. Well, it was missing. It was not in sync with the default recipe, and he also deleted the 3 widgets from the home page, but created blog-related widgets for the blog recipe: recent blog posts, blog archives, and tag cloud. And maybe he also enabled the fields and content types. And was discussing also about creating some content items, but well, we'll see if it's necessary for the blog post. Content types, edit field issues. Yes, there will be 2 repeated error messages, so now there is only 1. Apparently also some support for the return URL. Typo and delete dialog confirm message. Oh, correct. Interesting. So it was showing a quote also, I assume. Probably. This is the admin theme, so many fixes on the admin theme, we'll talk about it after. Manage tags on page not alpha sorted, so sorted the tags in the UI. Good. Line wrap CSS and binary attributes, so UI, CSS, admin theme, and then merge into dev branch. So lots of work from Matthew on the admin theme. He was spamming the at least my mailbox, because I follow the admin theme. I follow the Orchard repository, so every issue he created, I got an email. He didn't sleep much. Did you finish your half marathon at least?
Yes, I made it all the way around. 1 hour 49.
1:39.
1 hour 49.
49. Okay. I think my best is 1:48.
Congratulations.
Sorry. So culture picker. So yeah. So just wanted to show that he's been also creating lots of issues. Not that he's been creating the issues, but filing them on the admin theme to be sure that everything is working for we can release that. I also see Who is Eiffel? I didn't see these ones, or maybe I just saw them based on the name. No, that's weird. Oh, last night apparently? I didn't see them. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I just saw the ones from Matthew, who has been finding them, little things but need to be fixed. And these ones are new to me. Okay, but that's good. RTL, that's good. I know we asked Hossein to create some issues and he did it for RTL, so that's good. Interesting. Yeah, that's very good. This way we can we know what needs to be fixed. So that's the progress on the admin. So there's been a lot of work this weekend on that, between issue, file, and fixes by Matthew and Sipke. That's good. And we'll get a demo from that. Questions on Orchard 1 on these changes? Good. This I was saying, yeah, I was doing a lot of refactoring to make things more independent, so we can just opt in for any feature in Orchard. That's going on. It's related to what we talked about last week, which is make things more modular with different level of usage of the Orchard framework, module, software as a service, and CMS. This is Alexander Bosharov, who fixed the main branch, master branch, to react to the changes to YesSql. I changed the API and I also changed it on my branch. And then the work here I'm doing. Then Nick merged his pull request to refactor the file system classes and actually removing them to use what is standard in .NET Core. Then this is my local work. Kevin has been fixing some issues for the OpenID Connect. Well, merging is the master into auth at least, but I saw also some other commits. Yeah, skipping a test. He opened he filed some issues with that. Then this is me still working on that, making things more componentized. Okay, good. Demos. Oh, demos here. Demos Matthew. Anan, is it better now?
Can you hear me now?
Now, yes. Okay, let's start with Matthew and then you'll take over.
Sure.
Stop presenting.
Okay, I clicked request control. What to do now?
You don't need to request control. You just need to present your desktop.
Where is the button? All right. Okay, so I made some changes to the designer tools just to make it a bit easier to use. And if you look down at the bottom, you'll see that there's a few changes that have happened.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mention your demo is about shape tracing and the improvements you have done. There is a pull request for that. That's what I wanted you to show.
Okay, so it all still works pretty much as normal, but there's an extra settings tab on the end there. So when you click on it, you can quickly deactivate the shape tracing from the front end. So at the moment, if you looked in there, there'd be really messy source code. So if you're working on building the template as well as digging out the shapes, you might want to get it out of the way. So you can click that, it will refresh, and then it goes inactive. And then if you look at the source code, so the module is still there and enabled, but it's not active, and all your source code's nice and clean to be able to make your changes. I also made the toolbar a little bit taller, remade that with CSS. This whole bar is now the click zone, so you can easily bring it in and out. And then when you want it back, you can just quickly reactivate the shape tracing, and you can see the little icon's gone active now. So it's back there, everything's working again, and it's running all in the backgrounds. The only other thing that I did was put in a bit of code there, so each time that you re-enable the module, it will automatically reassign itself to active as well, so you don't end up re-enabling it and wonder why it's not working. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward update, but it's I think it'll make things quite a lot smoother for when you're working on building the sites initially.
Good. That's good. So we'll merge it. Looks good to me. Thanks. Hanan, Dimo?
So I'll share my screen.
So Hanan also has a pull request, and before merging it, because the code was good, we wanted to see it working.
Please let me know when you're able to see my screen.
Good.
Okay. So I'll launch the site and quickly head to the media library. So the primary purpose was to be able to replace the media within the media library. This functionality was missing. So first thing, I'll try to import a few media items, and I'll try to import some of the media items like images or something like that. This one, this one. Okay. I just uploaded two media items. So just close this one. I can import a few others using the web search. So maybe Ghost. Let's do this one. Import. So all the existing functionality is as it is. I would click this one, and then we have a button available here, and it would only be enabled if we have a single item selected, not on the selection of multiple items. So once we have a single item selected, I can click on the replace. So we have the same interface available, and I can use all the existing options available that were available for the import of a new media item. I can use file system to replace that media item, or I can use a web search. So previously I just uploaded these two images. I'll just select this one. So this one is updated. I would try to replace this one with some other image. So note the dimensions of the images, 960 by 960.
Can you slow down, because it doesn't seem like what you're talking about is actually showing up on the screen.
Okay, so here we have these three images. I just selected the last one.
Okay.
Yep. I would try to replace it. We have this button available here. Replace. I can use this one. Select this one. This one. Okay.
We are still on the screen where we see three images, and you just selected the Apple logo. That's all we can see right now.
So I think there's some lag in the video or so.
So now we can see a dialog opening to select a file, a Samsung file.
That was there a few seconds ago.
Okay. So it magically changed the image to Apple, to Samsung from Apple. We don't know how, but okay. So I assume you clicked on the edit button.
Yep. There is some. I believe there is some lag in the video.
Yeah,
or like
I'm sure there is some lag in the video. So
yep, there is some lag in the video. So I would try to slow down a little bit and maybe this
can
time
you show
I'll
the
try
replace
to
button, because you're talking about a replace button, but I think I haven't seen this one. Can you open a page with
here we have the replace button. I would just wait until you say that you are able to see the replace button. So are you able to see the replace button here?
No. Also, there is a Hanan guest. Is it just me, or is everyone see? I can see a big image. Oh no, that was me. Okay, I can see. Okay, so delete, replace, clone. Okay.
Okay, so I would just hit this one, and I have this button, this new screen, and this time I would use this web search. I would use the web search. So
okay.
I would just use the web search now. Previously, I just used the my computer to upload the images, but now I'm trying to use the web search to replace the image that I previously uploaded. Say something Orchard. Oh, we have real Orchard here.
That makes sense. That's fine.
Okay. So I would just replace. I would just hit replace. This one. So and what if I try to second I will also try to import a new embed from YouTube. So just open up this one. YouTube. Anything Orchard. Let's pick this one. Just this one. So I would hit this one, media URL. Are you able to see my screen?
We are just on the YouTube homepage now.
Okay. So I would just paste this one here, and I would hit preview. We have this one here. I would hit import.
This
I
see media URL, media URL, media URL. This is something which is by default in Orchard. Media URL.
Yep. So I would try to replace this one. Now I just created a new embed, and I will try to replace this embed now.
I didn't do this form, right? I did the media URL, but I didn't do this form. It has been updated.
So this time let's try to do it some other video. Orchard CMS. This one. Preview. Now we have this new replace button available here, and I would just hit replace, and this owembed is now replaced.
Okay, that works.
And all the other different type of, for example, if I go ahead and specify all the accepted file extensions here. For example, I only want to accept only .png files. I'll just try to do that way as well. So I specified that I would only accept PNG files, and in the media, these are few other changes that I made. So I'm just showing those changes. So this one, so for example, this one, Apple, not JPEG. This one, this file type is not allowed. So we have these errors displayed here now.
Okay, we can't see that yet. Wasn't there already implemented?
This was there, but for few of the errors, this error, this label was not being displayed for few of the cases. For example, if I try to change the content type from here, and I try to select some PNG file, the media factory, of course, it doesn't resolve, and we do not get any media factory. So we have these new messages here, no media factory available to handle this sort of resource. And again, we have the same things in the web search as well. Just a PNG. This one. Now I have audio selected here on the top.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to import it. So we have this, and we have no media factory available to handle this resource.
Okay.
Yep. A few other tweaks, things, enhancements, few security issue things were missing, security checks were missing. So I have made it consistent. All three, the client storage, the web source, the owembed, and just like the one change you mentioned that it shouldn't have any breaking change, iMedia Factory. So that is also changed.
Okay, good.
So there's no more breaking change.
That's good. Thank you. Good. I like the way the replace button works. Okay.
There's just a small thing remaining. I still have to change that. Just a small change. Basically, when we try to when we try to replace an image with maybe an owembed or something like that, this one. So this one error comes up. I just need to format this error here. Cannot replace image with owembed. So just like the one we have, like bootstrap type, warnings or messages come up. So I just have to apply a few stylings in there in the owembed CSS file. That's the only thing left out. Just a few styles to be added.
Okay, that's cool. Thank you. Okay, topics. Harvest. So harvest, the status is that we are still trying to confirm the location and the location inside the hotel actually. So still going on. Hopefully we'll have some news today. We'll see. I know George and Rob have been pinging them or trying to get information. So it's still going on. So no confirmation yet. Just confident that for the date and location, but no confirmation. That's it. George, any news? Maybe I missed something, but no news, right? I would have received an email like you.
Not yet. We're still waiting to hear back from the lady at the hotel.
Are there any other plan, like still in New York, because you know New York, and maybe there are other locations we should look into?
I don't know that we're looking at any right now,
No,
but we
if you
can.
if you have some ideas.
I can, yeah, I have a couple of other hotels, but I don't think they're going to be nearly as good a deal as the Hilton. So,
Okay.
So we're hoping to hear back from her today. So
Yep.
if not, then we'll investigate other options.
Okay, thank you. Questions? Topics?
Why don't you post the actual dates on your notes so that people who haven't seen this video before?
So right now the dates are February, I think it's around the 23rd, because I know the Monday is President Day, so it's a holiday, so it will be 2017. Okay, 21st, 22nd, something like this. Tuesday, 21st, 22nd. Okay. So around this, that should be the target. That is the target right now. I think that's well, I never talked to George or Rob about that, but because Monday is President Day, I don't think we can do it on. We should do it on Monday. Not sure. Yeah, that's it. Question topics? No question, no topics. Crickets. What about crickets? That's the topic. That's fine. Yeah, well, they have all the answers to all their questions, so that must be it.
You're just such a great speaker.
Yeah, apparently. So no more question. No, I don't know. What website? I know I have some tasks to do for
1.10.2 release.
Well, I had an agreement with Sipke. I'm still waiting for Sipke. That's bad to say that, but I want to ship it with Sipke, so Sipke needs to free some time for that. Otherwise, it's ready whenever we want. And then only 1.11. So I'm waiting for Sipke to do it with me. Website. So Steve is waiting on me to give him some data from the current site, some exports, so he can have some data to feed into his local website. That's what he asked me, and I still need to do that. That's the status. What else? I think that's it. If nobody has any other questions or topics, then good to go.
Can I discuss a few issues that we are facing these days?
Yep.
Basically, I had issues. Yep.
Okay.
So there was this issue of the first issue was with basically with the I tag cache, the tags cache in the Orchard CMS, and with the output cache. So with the way it is currently implemented, it's basically the default output cache. I believe it's storing somewhere on the file system or something like that, and
Nope.
then we have the iTag cache there. So iTag cache is basically holding the widgets that get displayed on specific content items, and so the issue is that the first thing when we clone it, the the clone process, it basically it calls the export and the import process, and while during the import process, the import function calls the update shell, which basically what it does, it basically restarts the shell, and as a result what happens that the output cache, it stays there, but the tag cache, it gets expired. So when that gets expired, anything, if we update a widget or something like that, any item that is using that that widget, it loses that relationship, and then that doesn't refreshes the cache. So this was one issue. Have I explained it correctly? Are you able to understand what exactly I mentioned?
Not really, because you mentioned that you are cloning a widget. Is the issue when you clone the widget only?
No, basically when we clone the item, well, what happens is that it basically does the import process, and the import process calls the update shell.
This
And
is
when
wrong.
the shell,
There
yes,
is an issue here. It should importing cloning a content item should not restart the tenant.
well, I believe there's another scenario. We have a custom developed content deployment module, which basically is for the sake of simplicity, I use the clone, but there's another scenario where we are using this exactly the same scenario where the import process happens, and during the import process, the import function calls the update shell, and what happens after that, the output cache, it gets just it stays there, but the tag cache, it gets cleared. So the tag cache
Okay.
is there, it's gone.
So you say the output cache stays there. Are you using,
Yeah.
and you also mentioned that you saw something on the file system. Are you using?
Basically whatever happens is after the import. So when we call the import, so after the import, we saw the function of the import, and there's this line update shell, I think, and after that
Yeah, that's not
we
my
have,
question. Forget about it. I will repeat it. You mentioned that you say the output cache is not refreshed, okay? And you say
yes,
the
yes,
iTag cache is refreshed. You also
yes,
said
absolutely.
you found something on the file system related to
No,
the
no, no,
output
but
cache.
forget about that. Forget about that. The main problem is that the output cache stays there, but the iTag cache, it's gone.
Okay, wait,
And then
stop.
yeah.
You just said the output cache is there, but the iTag cache is gone. What do you mean
Yeah.
by the output cache is there?
The output cache is like we have that module Orchard.output cache, and
What does it
that
mean is
cache
there? I know the module. What does it mean is there?
is there means I can see the cache entries still there
Okay.
in the
Second
in the
question.
Orchard.
So you have
Yeah.
cache entries even though there is a restart. First comment is that it should not happen. If you restart the tenant, the cache should be cleared because the instance will be released. Unless you are using another feature, another storage provider, which will serialize the data on disk or on database or on Redis. Do you have such a feature enabled?
No. We do not have Redis enabled. We do not have anything like that. We are using the default output cache only.
Okay, so I
And
will file an issue
yeah.
because whatever you say, this is wrong. So you say on tenant restart.
I will try to reproduce it.
Okay.
I will try to come up with some reproducible steps for you, but this is actually happening for us. And the most relatable occurrence we could come up with was when we were trying to import something. After that, the output cache was there, just like I mentioned that I'm able to see the entries in the Orchard.output cache admin utility, but the ITag cache is gone. And so that was the problem. I think we need to work on it a little bit more and maybe come up with some reproducible steps so that we could maybe, log some bug in.
Yeah, because if one of the two items is refreshed and the other one, then there is a discrepancy in the data and it can't work. So, okay.
So this is one issue that we were facing. The second issue was with the clone process. When we have some identity part added in a in an item, the clone when we clone that item, and the cloned item, the identity part has it does not get the new GUID. So what happens that when we export it out, if there are two items, those two items, the cloned item also has the same identity part. Now if we make some changes in the
I think it has been
CMS
fixed.
or maybe in the,
I think this one has been fixed. Okay. Yes. I don't know which branch though. So who fixed it? It was the French guy. What's his name? Coding Lab. Let me see. Coding Lab. Something like this. I'm sure it's author maybe. Coding Lab. Maybe not close then.
Coding Lab.
Crap. The big clone PR. Maybe it's on dev branch. Must be on dev branch.
Okay.
The big clone PR. Can someone? Maybe someone knows. Yeah. If your content does not have a AutoroutePart, I think that, but Coding Lab, where is this? If I click on some name here, and I do Coding Lab, this is him, and can I see his activity? Can't see his activity. Crap. But yeah, I'm almost sure it has been fixed by his pull request, because it was exactly this issue. And he made what he made is that now in dev branch there is I can show you. It's interesting. Code. If we look at the content handler, once my window wants to refresh, content handler. Now there is a cloning and cloned event that he also made. Let's see if we look at the history, you will find it. You see, creating new identities on cloning. Boom. Exactly that. You see, now it's doing it as you're mentioning.
Okay, that's great.
That's on the dev. This is on the dev branch because it's a big breaking change, because there are new methods on the main interface. You see, cloning and importing. Importing was already there, but cloning cloned.
Got it.
And
5762 is 5762.
Content context with. You see here, assign an entity, cloning. On cloning, assign an entity. So it's creating a new identity when you clone an item. So this will be fixed. Yeah. And he fixed a bunch of drivers to support that also. So that should be good now.
Great.
Just have to ask. It's already done. Good.
Got. So so this one is fixed. There is one last issue that I wanted to discuss. I already I believe filed a bug for this one. But this has not been assigned any milestone yet. So the problem is like, for example, we have AutoroutePart within some content type, and then we export out that some item, and then what we do, we manually change the URL, the friendly URL within the recipe and try to import it back. So what it does not, it does not register the new friendly URL on import. So it gets updated into the autoroute part itself, but the URL is not registered.
Do you have a link to the issue?
Sure, just a second, please.
I do.
I think I will find it.
This is one.
Found it. Import the modified URL together. Okay.
So the URL, the friendly URL, it is not updated primarily because if we only have the URL changed, so the publish flag, the publish thing, it's already published, so it just just returns from there the publish method, and because it does not trigger the onPublished handler because autoroute is the autoroute registered its new friendly URL on the onPublished event handler, and if it does not trigger, the URL won't register. So that's the issue.
Let me see. Okay, that's a valid issue. I triaged it, so we'll see. Oops.
I try to think of some solution for this, but I don't think the one that I have suggested there is a good one. Maybe what we need to do, maybe just set the published flag on the content item content record to false. Maybe that would just trigger the published handler once we publish it, something like that. Because I saw it in Orchard CMS at multiple places. That might be a good solution.
Okay, I'll look into it.
Sure.
Good.
Thanks. That's all I have.
Other questions? Good then. Okay, thanks everyone. See you on Thursday.